One of our favourite small SUVs, the Honda HR-V, has been updated, and this is it. We already like the HR-V for its practicality, its pragmatism, its value, and the comfort on offer. But now, Honda reckons it's added some fun to the mix as well. You can read the full review for all the nitty-gritty details, but first, let's take a look at what's changed in terms of exterior design. The facelifted HR-V gets a few styling changes, but the most are noticeable on this version. It's the RS, and it gets the sportiest look of the lot. It gets a full piano black lower body kit, plus there are 18-inch wheels, which are the biggest wheels we've seen on a HR-V to date. This version as well gets a smoky chrome grille finish, which looks quite distinct, and the headlights have been redesigned. Well, not entirely. The inlays have changed and you get a new LED signature, and these headlights are full LED, but you still get halogens in the base spec car. At the rear of this facelifted version of the HR-V, things haven't changed dramatically. You do get the same shape to the taillight, but the inlays are different, so it does have a bit of a different look to it. And on this RS spec, again, they've gone with a smoky look, which does lift it a little bit, and of course there's a pretty proud RS badge right there. Let's walk through the grades, and there are still 4 to choose from. The entry-level model is the VTI, which is still less than 25 grand. Pricing steps up about $3,000 to the VTI S and a further $4,000 to the Sporty RS, which replaces the VTI L at about $32,000. The flagship VTI LX is the most expensive HR-V you can buy at just under $35,000, and that's for a model without all-wheel drive or a diesel engine. Every HR-V remains two-wheel drive and powered by the existing 1.8 litre petrol engine. Every version comes with a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, which is an automatic. And while they may not seem like much use, in the RS you get paddle shifters. Now, let's talk safety equipment, because one of the big disappointments with the pre-facelift version of the HR-V was that you could only get all the best safety equipment in the top spec version. Now, however, all models gain a low-speed auto emergency braking system called City Brake Active. It'll warn the driver and apply brake force at speeds less than 30 km an hour. The best safety package is still reserved for the range-topping model, which gets full forward collision warning and AEB, plus lane departure warning and auto high beam headlights. You can't option that tech on the other models either, which is kind of disappointing. All models still carry over the 2015 5-star NCAP rating, and there's a reversing camera on all grades, but Honda's lane watch camera system is only available on the top 3 specs. Now, what about the interior? Not a lot has changed in here, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the HR-V's interior wasn't really out of date. But one thing that is the media screen. It's a 7-inch touchscreen system, and it has built-in sat-nav, which is great, but there's none of those latest toys like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can still connect with USB and Bluetooth, but it's a bit behind the times, Honda. Sadly, unlike the CR-V, which is the HR-V's bigger brother, and the Civic, there is no digital speedo, which is a bit of a shame, because in speed-conscious areas like Melbourne, where we are today, you have to watch your speed, and watching it by little increments on the needle can be a little bit difficult. Only the top spec model gets dual zone climate control. You get single zone climate control on every other version, and you get heated seats in this spec, the RS, and the VTI LX above it. All the buttons and controls are really logically placed, and being a Honda, it feels well put together as well. And the storage is really good. There's a couple of cup holders between the front seats. You get decent sized pockets in the doors as well, and a neat little cubby in front of the shifter. Now, what about the back seat? Honda is known for making super practical cabins, and that's exactly the case with the HR-V. This is a small SUV. This seat is set in my driving position. I'm 6 foot tall, and I've got heaps of room, lots of knee room, decent foot room, and even pretty good headroom. You might have to watch yourself in the model with the big sunroof if you're especially tall, but generally it's pretty comfortable back here too. Now, all the practicalities are taken care of. Well, most of them. You get a bottle holder down here. You also get bottle holders in the doors. There are dual map pockets in this spec. In the base spec, you only get one map pocket holder, which is a weird thing for Honda to de-spec. And you miss out on middle seat armrest and a flip down armrest with cup holders, which is a bit of a disappointment, but it makes up for it with some really handy practicality. Let me show you. As you can see, the base of the back seat can be flipped up, allowing you access to a huge space to store longer items. You can fit push bikes in there, trust me. And you can lower the seat bases down and then drop the rear seat backs for a huge boot. The regular 5 seats up layout allows one of the best cargo figures in the segment. Practicalities are one thing, but the Honda HR-V has never been that much fun to drive. The RS model that we're in now, though, is here to change all that. It gets a model-specific steering and suspension tune, so they've gone to a fair bit of trouble to make this version drive like, well, a bit more fun than the other versions in the range. It's got a variable ratio steering system, which makes it feel a little bit quicker in corners when you apply a bit of lock, and at lower speeds it definitely feels a little bit more dialed into the road as well. The firmer suspension never gets to the point of being annoying, which is important for a car like this because it's primarily aimed at families who live in city areas, and it's perfect for those sorts of environs. It's a really well sorted city SUV. The engine is fine. It's not a powerhouse by any means, and it doesn't really set the world on fire when you put your foot down. But with this revised CVT, they've added some stepped ratios to the system. So what that means is it acts more like a regular automatic rather than a CVT, which in anyone's book is a good thing. Another impressive strength to the Honda HR-V is a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty. That's better than some of its rivals. Service intervals are every 12 months or 10,000 Ks. That's not terrific, but it's not a deal breaker either. There are definitely worthwhile changes to this updated version of the Honda HR-V, including the addition of the City AEB system across all grades. Very much welcome. And personally, I am sold on the look of this RS version. All in all, it remains a favourite in the small SUV segment, albeit one that doesn't have much drivetrain choice, and no, it doesn't have a 4x4 or all-wheel drive version, but it's got other strengths, and that's why people buy it. Would you choose the Honda HR-V over one of its competitors? Be sure to let us know in the comments section below, and also make sure you head to our YouTube page and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Share this video with your friends and stay tuned because there's plenty more great review content coming.